afternoon and welcome to Guitar Whisperer headquarters. A few of you have said to me, why don't you do videos about what you get up to? And at first I thought, well, that's the last thing the world needs, another guitar channel on YouTube, but I'll give it a go because you get some cool stuff here. This particular one is one of mine. I've just got back from holiday in Asia, and while I was there I bought this rather lovely old Aria PE from the owner of a bar in Georgetown in Penang, like you do, and I brought it back with me on the plane. It's not one of the original Japanese ones. It's a Korean one from slightly later, but it is a beautiful old guitar. And because Georgetown is the town my dad came from, it's got kind of a nice sentimental aspect to it, and it's got a good story. But as it's been hanging up in tropical climate for 30 years in the bar, needs a bit of work. It's all structurally sound though, and it actually makes noises. I'm going to give it a really thorough going over there. It's pretty crusty. There's some new pickups on the way from Monty's Guitars to go on it. I thought I'd treat it. First up though, let's strip it down a bit. There we go, most of the hardware's off the front. I've left the electronics on the side. The back of it is nowhere near as dirty as the front, as you would expect from something that's been hanging on the wall. But yeah, stripped it all off. Truss rod 10's fine. One of the tuners is a bit knackered, but I might be able to do something with it. Reggae Club sticker will be staying, because that's kind of part of the whole thing, isn't it? But there's so much dirt on here. I shall be starting to get it off in a bit. These pickups are coming out when the new ones turn up. These are the stock ones. I'm sure they sound fine, to be honest, but I thought I'd treat it to some nice hand-wound ones. And then I thought I would zap all the bits in the ultrasonic cleaner, but the ultrasonic cleaner does not work anymore. So it's just sat there in a water bath at the moment. Even so, quite a lot of crap is already coming off. This is going to be a fairly deep cleaning process, and it's going to take a while, but it'll be worth it. First couple of passes with the cleaning done, it's already starting to look pretty good. Even though I had a very thick layer of dirt on, it wasn't that stubborn. There's a few bits I think I might have to hit with some sandpaper and polish and stuff, but oh, shiny already. Lovely flame maple top. Not sure if that's a carved one or a veneer, but it does look lovely. If you're wondering what I'm cleaning with, it's watered down window cleaner and paper towels at the moment. As we get a bit further into it, I'll start using polish and things like that. This stuff is still soaking. You can see the water starting to go brown even without the ultrasonic stuff. It was a smoking bar as well, as it being in a tropical climate, so... But then people pay extra for this sort of look, don't they? But it's coming on nicely. It's going to take quite a few more passes, I think, to get it out nice, but I'm pleased with the way it's going so far. Well, a lovely surprise turned up while I was having a cup of coffee. Postman knocked the door and my pickups from Monty's have turned up. I've already opened them because I was too excited. But look at this next level packaging. Lovely wrapping paper. There was string wrapped around it with an actual wax seal holding it all together as well. And then inside, lovely box. Biodegradable straw packaging. Screws, and then these rather gorgeous zebra bobbin low output PAF style humbuckers. I like a low output humbucker. I think they're much more musical. Also, stickers. Stickers are great. So, yeah, I mean, that's next level, isn't it? Also, it's got my name on it. Thank you, Monties. Okay, back to the cleaning. This is 24 hours or so after I put stuff in the broken ultrasonic cleaner. And even without ultrasonics, look at the stuff that's coming off. So I'm probably going to leave that in there a bit longer. It is quite satisfyingly brown, so it shows that the dirt's coming off. While we're here as well, I just want to show you the back of the guitar. The Aria PE design is obviously Les Paul based. It's not an exact Les Paul copy, as you can see. These were actually originally designed in, I think, 1975, around about the time where Asian guitars were starting to become really high quality. And like a few of the manufacturers of the time, like Ibanez and Yamaha, they took the Les Paul concept and refined it somewhat. And each manufacturer did it in its own way. The obvious thing about the Aria design is this fantastic contoured neck joint. It's a glued-in neck, but the heel has been completely carved away. It gives you fantastic upper fret access, especially if you want to wrap your thumb around the top of the neck and hold down the low E and then play over the top of that. So it gives you much better high fret access. The cutaway itself is also a bit more pronounced. A nice piece of design, a nice piece of original design, which is one of the reasons I like these guitars so much. Scarf joint on the headstock. Some people say that's stronger. Jury's probably out on that. And then the electronics, they're not fantastic. There's some of the original mini pots still left in here. And there's also, somebody's replaced the neck pickup volume knob with a CTS and done a slightly unfortunate job of enlarging the hole. So the thing is with pots, these are two pots here. That's a CTS. That's an Alpha. These are made in the US. These are made in Korea. I mean, there's not much between them. They're both about the same quality, to be honest. But the difference is the CTSs have a larger diameter shaft there, the bit with the nut on, which means they won't go through the hole drilled for that. So somebody's had a go here at enlarging the hole. There are ways of doing this neatly, using reamers and things like that, but I don't think this is really the case on this one. So if you're ever ordering pots, try to replace them if you can, like for like. If you've got alphas in there, or it's an Asian made instrument, put some more alphas in. If it's American made, put CTS in. This is the easiest way to do it. You can obviously, like I say, enlarge the holes, but as there's not much difference in the quality between the two, you might as well get one that fits. The other thing is, and it doesn't apply to this one obviously because it's got a smooth shaft, the splines are different on each of these as well. They have different number of splines, the bits that dig into the knob, control knob, and hold it on. So if you go from Alpha or something similar to CTS and you've got push-on knobs, they won't fit. So just to make your life easier, try and stick to the same type. Yeah, this doesn't look fantastic. I'm going to replace all these pots possibly put some new tone capacitors in as well. I don't really think they make any difference to the sound, the tone capacitors, but it's nice to know that you've got some orange drop in there, or I like the Sozo ones as well. So we're going to make a whole new wiring harness for this, and also replace the output jack due to corrosion and things like that. There's a bit of shielding in there, which is quite nice, and there's some conductive paint, more than you get on a Gibson. But yeah, this is all going to be replaced. Okay, back to the metalwork, and I had a go on the gel piece, and it's come out quite nice. The tarnishing came off pretty easily, just with a bit of this and a rag, so that's encouraging. I quite like the patina it's got now. This would have been gold plated originally, now it's relic. The bridge is a bit more complicated, so I'm going to have to strip that down, which is a bit of a faff. But that's the only way to get the whole thing clean, really. I'm quite keen to get all the little slots that the strings sit in nice and clean and smooth to avoid string breakage. So it's coming apart. Everything's getting a good polish and clean, then I'll put it back together again. Right, we've got the new pots, a couple of tone capacitors, so I can start making up a wiring harness for this. There's not a lot of room to work in Gibson style control cavities, so if you screwed all the pots in, you'd find it really difficult to actually wire the thing up with any kind of neatness, and you'd probably end up burning the insulation on some of the wires and stuff. So I've made a template on the back of this Amazon envelope, so I'm going to make the harness on there as much as I can, and then the whole lot will be transferred in to the guitar in one lump once it's done. It's much easier this way, and you get much neater results. Okay, that's the beginning of the wiring harness done. The next step is to get the pickup rings attached to the pickups. Now this is a horrible job. There's a very high likelihood of you picking a spring across the workshop, and then it will never be seen again. It'll probably fall through a wormhole with a different dimension or something. So wish me luck. You can get a special tool to do this from StewMac, I think, which I should probably invest in at some point, or make my own or something, because it is horrible, but fingers crossed. And there you go. Pickups are now wired in as well. The output up to the switch is wired in. It should all be wired in. I'll find out in a minute if it all works. I'm going to take it off the template now and drop it into the guitar and then see what happens. Well, we're kind of on the final lap now. The wiring is done in there. I haven't swapped this over yet. I'll do that in a bit. On the other side of things, whoops, I'm just starting to string it up because I've cleaned up the tuners a bit. We'll see how these go. I'm a little bit concerned that there's some rough edges in there which might break strings, but if we can use them and the dirt and stuff is only cosmetic, good, we'll keep them on there. And yeah, we're just getting round to restringing. The bridge and the tailpiece are on, and they look rather good, don't they? There's some new knobs to go on as well, because the existing ones, the splines are kind of crusty. But yeah, nearly there. Let's see what it sounds like in a bit. So there we are, it's done. And I'm really pleased with the way it's come out. These pickups sound amazing. Monty's PAFs, highly recommended. New wiring harness. The bridge and the tailpiece look pretty good now, considering how crusty they were. Frets have all been levelled and re-crowned and polished. Tuners have been cleaned up. We'll keep an eye on those though in case they give me any trouble later on. But it's come out great. It's come 8,000 miles round the world from the town that my dad lived in. And now it's here and it's ready to be played.